Well, here we are on a very good morning to you from Luton Airport Parkway. Just going to, for the second time this week, take the Luton Dart up to Luton Airport and attempt to go on a little trip, this time for a little bit longer than the previous one. If you see my other video, there was supposed to be a video of the day trip to Spain using all three low-cost carriers or budget airlines, namely Wizz Air, Ryanair and EasyJet, the big three in the UK that is, and certainly the big three that operate out of Luton Airport, which in itself has become a bit of a budget airline specialist airport. But it all went wrong. There was a massive delay to my first flight, so I had to abandon the entire trip. But I did knock out a little video, and also a video about the Luton Dart. So a few days later I'm back, this time off to Riga in Latvia to see what we can find there. So look out for some videos on that, and look out for the rest of this video, because I'll probably add this into it as well. That's assuming, of course, we don't get beyond Luton Airport today. I've already been notified of a delay of approximately 1 hour to the Wizz Air flight. Not a major problem. Hopefully that won't get any worse, and we'll be on our way. So see you when I get up to the airport. No Oyster cards permitted for the Luton Dart. Wonderful. Although, funnily enough, TfL charged my credit card for riding on it, so that's an interesting thing.
This shuttle is ready to depart. Please stand clear of the doors. This shuttle is ready to depart. Please stand clear of the doors.
Won't be able to see anything in a moment because it's still dark outside and light inside, so once we get out of there, it'll just be a blurry mess or a reflection of me or something. But here we go.
Please hold the handrail. Shuttle is departing.
£4.90 for 3.5 minutes for a 3.5 minute train journey. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Expensive, but it's quick and it's efficient.
We have reached the airport. Doors will open on the left-hand side. Please stand clear.
Well, very good morning from London's Luton Airport. This will be the beginning of the video if I don't add in the bit I've just already done coming up from Luton Airport Parkway on the Dart. Not decided yet, so I'll say good morning again. It's a rather damp, mildish, typical English spring morning here at Luton. It's looking quite busy. It's the beginning of the Easter holidays. So there'll be a lot of people heading off for breaks around Europe, and I'm expecting the flight I'm going on this morning to be full. It's already showing roughly an hour's delay, so I noticed on the screen just coming up from the airport was one or two others with some very delays. There was one for nearly, I think, about 4 or 5 hours to Bratislava. Anyway, I'm off to Riga today, which has got around about an hour's delay on it. Let's see how Wizz Air get on today. I had to abandon my trip completely the other day due to the fact my first flight, Luton to Parma, with Wizz Air, as it happens, was delayed by over 4 hours, so it didn't make the rest of the day trip viable. This is for a bit longer, for a few days. So, hopefully everything will go to plan. Let's go and join that big queue for security. Or if it's the same as it was the other day when I came here, massive queue for security. Welcome to Luton. Nothing like as bad as it was the other day when I came here. The queue was right back covering all of those rows there. So yeah, it's pretty busy here this morning, but security looks to be not quite so busy. Should get through a bit quicker. Ironically, of course, the other day I left it rather to the last moment because I didn't have any suitcases or bags or anything. Today I've got tons of time and the queue's going to be a bit quicker. But anyway, that's how it goes. Get here on time and everything can be nice and relaxed.
Make sure there's nothing in your pockets, please.
not too bad really, probably about 20-25 minutes to get through security. It was just starting to build up and get slightly chaotic. Quite a number of large school groups and so on, which does tend to slow it down because everyone has to stick together, especially school groups, so it did make it a little bit chaotic, but on the whole, not too bad. Let's have a look, see what we're doing. Yeah, flight's still delayed 55 minutes, and gate will be announced in just over an hour's time, so time to go and get a coffee and a little bite to eat, and make a very swift passage through the duty-free shop, which I'm sure is a complete waste of money, but there you go. Just my views, nobody else's. That half a mini's still there, I've seen that loads of times now. I got told off in here once for filming. They didn't like me taking a picture of the prices and so on and so forth, but that's because they might have something to hide on the prices, especially if it's cheaper to get a bottle of Jack Daniels than 200, maybe probably not cigarettes, but certainly alcohol. It's certainly going to be cheaper probably at a supermarket if you look out for the special offers. But anyway, we're through there. A strong coffee awaits, and we'll settle down and wait for our flight to Riga. The main departure area of the terminal was quite busy this morning. All the cafes and the bar and so on is also quite busy. If you want a bit more peace and quiet, the seats aren't great down here, but if you head off towards the gates, even if you're down, there's really two or three directions you can go in for gates. I'm down the bit that's gates 1 to 12 just here, and it can be a bit quieter if you like a bit of peace, but do keep an eye out, because when they announce your gate on the screen, which is usually about an hour before the flight, it could be completely the other end of the departure lounge. It'd take you 10 to 15 minutes from down here to the other end, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. It's nice and peaceful down here this morning. I'm going to find a nice quiet corner and drink my coffee. Of course, if you need the toilet, you might have to go and queue up in the main part of the terminal building, because certainly today at least, the last 3 sets of toilets that I've walked past, this one by towards gate 7 area, 1 to 6 and 7 closed. Just further back here they were closed, and as were the ones that are just after Frankie and Benny's. So 3 on the trot all closed at once, which could be problematic. Anyway, let's carry on with a little stroll and see how many toilets we can find that are actually open today.
Departure to Greece, flight number 2425, now boarding at gate 43. Départ à destination EasyJet departure to Riga, flight number 2335, now boarding at gate 2. El vuelo de EasyJet 2335, salida a Málaga, se embarcará ahora por la puerta número 2. Ryanair departure to Rome, flight number.
Well, we made it here in the end. Left Luton airborne about, I'll say about 1 hour and 20 minutes behind schedule. Got here around about an hour behind schedule. All in all, not too bad. Very nice crew. Quite a packed flight, but pretty comfortable all in all. Just to say, I didn't pre-assign any seats, I just had it allocated by the airline at the last minute, which is what I tend to do if I'm travelling alone. And I got some extra legroom seats, so that was a bonus. Normally I get stuck in the middle between extra large people, so today was comfortable. So, right, got to clear immigration now, grab a bus ticket, head on into Riga. Catch you later. Which reminds me, Air Baltic are based here in Riga. Just see one about to depart over there. Riga is not a bad place to use as a hub sometimes. There are flights from the UK to Riga which connect onwards to places further east in Europe, and quite often at pretty good prices. Always worth having a look at, because if you have a couple of hours to kill here, it's not too bad. It's quite a pleasant airport. Anyway, approaching immigration now, so we'll head off there, get on my way into town. Well, here we are in Old Riga, just on the way to the accommodation, so I won't waffle on for too long. Now then, if you decide to take the bus from the airport, it runs around about 4 times an hour, 3 to 4 times an hour, and costs €2 each way. Alternatively, you could buy, if you're here for a few days, as a 3-day pass for all the buses and trams and trolley buses in the Riga area for €8, or €10 for 5 days. The journey, as I say, the journey from the airport's €2 each way. However, all the other journeys just on the normal buses and trolley buses are €1.50. So you can do the maths if you think you're going to do it. I'll go for it. You can buy the ticket at the Narvesen store just outside the departures part of the airport before you get on the bus, or there's a ticket machine at the bus stop. Right, nice to be back, and I'll be adding to this fairly soon. I need to find the accommodation and get a coffee. Hello, Riga. Well, here we are, and quite a fine view of the rooftops of Riga from a little balcony on the outside of the master bedroom. Smack bang in the centre of the city. Right, that's a few provisions got for the fridge. There's what's going on here. Well, obviously some renovation works going on at the Hotel Conventa Seta. Nearly stayed here actually. I've stayed here before. It's a really nice place, but I certainly didn't mention that on booking.com. A building site right outside it, which is quite interesting. Well, it's quite typical really of most of these things, isn't it? You don't find out till you get there, but it is not a bad hotel. But at the moment it looks like a bad idea due to the renovations to the cobblestones, I think. Anyway, that's it for me for today. It's been quite a long day coming over from Luton, and I'll crack on with some more stuff tomorrow. Probably go up to the Mesa Parks, which is a beautiful place. Excellent if you want to go cycling or running or just chilling out. It's probably a bit cold this time of year to do anything other than keep moving, but certainly in summer, sitting by the lake is a great place. So if you ever come to Riga, look out Mesa Parks if you like a really nice park and lake to chill out at for a while. That's it from me for today. I'm going back to have a nice shower, cup of proper coffee and something to eat. Bye for now. And a very good Saturday morning to you from Riga, and I'm just outside the central station, the site of quite an interesting project. This will be gone in the not too distant future when the Rail Baltica project gets underway properly, and they build a state-of-the-art new station here to accommodate the Rail Baltica trains that are going to run from right the way through the Baltic states, from Estonia through Latvia, Lithuania into Poland, basically from Tallinn to Warsaw, with connections across to Helsinki in Finland. So it's an interesting project. There's a lot of work going on in this part of Riga, heading towards that. I'm not sure what the projected date for that all finishing is, but I think it's a few years off yet. Anyway, let's go on a nice walk around Riga this morning. It's a cool, some might say chilly Saturday morning, and we're going to see what we can see in this fantastic city. Now, it was quite a party city. It was Friday night last night. It was fairly noisy around the city, with people going in all the bars and music playing, but nothing like it is in summertime. Of course, in summer things tend to spill out a little bit more onto the streets. So anyway, let's head on round, see what we can see this morning. We'll head towards the Lima clock, which is usually quite a good starting point for most walks around Riga. You'll see these Narvesen stalls all around Latvia, and lots of them nearly on every street corner. Just a convenience store that are in abundance here. They seem to be the main one where you can just pick up all the usual types of small items and snacks. But importantly, that's if you don't pick up a pass for the bus and trams at the airport when you arrive, then they usually sell them. I mentioned it before, a single journey from the airport's €2, obviously €2 to get back again. A regular journey around the city on any bus or tram journey for 90 minutes is €1.50, and a 3-day pass, I think it is €8. 5-day pass is €10. So if you're going to be getting out and about on the buses and trams, which I highly recommend here, then I'll grab yourself one of those passes. There is an Narvesen at the airport, as I mentioned before, but if not, if you haven't got time for that, you can just pop into one of those stores here. Of course, another way to get yourself around this city would be rent an e-scooter. There's quite a few of them knocking about. Funnily enough, that just here, I can only see that one just parked up there. But there are certain parts around the old Riga and the parks where there's quite a lot of them. So if that's your thing, e-scooters, yeah, you can do those here too. But don't get hit by a tram. Not recommended. Still quite early on a Saturday morning. Not too many people up and about, a few dog walkers, but this part does get quite busy here in the summertime, as you can imagine, but it's a bit chilly for hanging around in parks this morning, and also a little bit early too. It's ideal to come out this time of day though for a walk. But certainly if you're travelling from the UK in winter time, well, autumn through to spring, do expect it to be considerably cooler weather-wise than the UK. Gets cold sooner and doesn't get warm until later. But when it does get warm in the summer, it gets pretty hot here. I'm wondering if at night they still light that up with the Ukraine flag. Last time I was here, I didn't see last night, but I'll have a look tonight. Certainly from a year ago, they were lighting the big statue there in blue and yellow in support of Ukraine. The Lima clock, which is Riga's equivalent to the clock at Waterloo Station as a meeting point, apparently. And that big statue there, I don't know if it was lit up, they're still lighting it up, but certainly last year at night time it's been lit up in the colours of the Ukraine flag in support of the Ukraine people. I'll have a check later tonight, see if they're still doing that. But here's a central point in Riga where you may meet tour guides, or a place that people would say, oh, we'll meet at the Lima clock. That's there. Just entering the old Riga now. As you can see, lots of e-scooters available for hire. Another Narvesen, of course. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Excuse me. European cities that have trams, a river going through them, and by the water, always get my vote. There's something special about cities with trams in them and trolley buses. It just gives them that unique or special atmosphere that cities without just simply don't have. And Riga has that. The trams, they don't run through the very centre, the old part of Riga. It's cobblestones, there's not too many cars, it's mostly semi-pedestrianised anyway, and not recommended to drive around, so it's a pretty good city for just walking around. As the tram just went trundling by. Yeah, so fairly close to here you'll find the beach resort of Jūrmala, Salkrasti, and one or two others that are easy to get to by public transport. And they've got lovely beaches. They're not overdeveloped and touristy, just fairly natural beaches, plenty of room. The only downside, of course, is the Baltic Sea is a little bit on the nippy side, so if you like jumping into warm waters, then yeah, the Baltic's probably not for you, but it's certainly very picturesque. It is a nice square here. I like it here. This gets absolutely rammed with people in the summer just sitting out enjoying themselves. And that's a very loud. There's quite often live music being played in this this bar, hog bar, or I can't remember what it's called now. And a jolly good morning from a very sleepy and quiet but yet beautiful, sunny and slightly chilly Sunday morning here in Old Riga. There's quite a lot going on in the city last night, perhaps not quite as noisy and raucous as it would be in the middle of summer, as these bars here were empty on the outside. They were quite busy on the inside, however, but the outdoor places were not really frequented much because it was too cold to sit outside, really, isn't it? But anyway, I'm going on a little stroll this morning. In about an hour's time, I'm going to set off on another random public transport journey. Today, a random bus journey, so there will be a separate video for that. I've already done a random tram journey, which you should be able to, if you subscribe to this channel, you should be able to pick that one up and have a look, see where I got to. And same again, tomorrow I will do another random public transport journey, which will be by trolley bus, so I'm looking forward to that. It's been a while since I've been on an actual trolley bus. Anyway, it's really quiet here this morning. I'm just going off to the supermarket to grab some food. There's a shopping mall, which is not very far away from here, with a Rimi sort of medium-sized supermarket in there. Incidentally, they, as long as you're using a debit card to pay, do cash back if you can't find a cash point machine or ATM. There's not a huge amount in about. There are some charge you extra to use, some don't. It depends, I guess, on your bank and so on. And but if you make some purchases in a Rimi shop and use a debit card, they will do cash back as well. So that's always worth considering. But most places in Latvia are contactless, and you can just pay by card. I would recommend getting one that's already converted into euros from your own bank. You'll probably get a better exchange rate, and you won't have that moment where they offer it to you in your own currency at their exchange rate, which is normally pretty poor. Anyway, yeah, it's beautifully quiet this morning. What an absolutely, it is quite chilly. It's about 0 degrees. Absolutely stunning this morning here. I'm looking forward to having a nice journey out to the suburbs, having a look around there and seeing what we can see. I'll be back in Old Riga later on. I shall add to this particular video then with anything that I may see. But for the moment, cheerio. I'm going to go and get some shopping and make a start on the next video, which will be a random bus journey. So as I say, if you want to know more about that, then please subscribe. It's probably the ideal time to come shopping here in Riga. This is quite early on a Sunday morning, or early for a Sunday morning. the shopping mall's open. It's a small one in the centre of Old Riga. It's not the big ones are on the outskirts. Galleria Centres, as this one's called. Majority of the shops are still closed at the moment, but the all-important supermarket, which is what I'm interested in this morning, is actually open. So I'm going to pop in there, grab some provisions for later, and then head off on the random bus journey. So, mission complete from the Rimi shop. Maybe it was a breakdown in communication, but they didn't seem to want to do cash back at that particular store. Perhaps I'm getting confused with just their little mini stores, which seem to want to do cash back okay, but there were ATMs in the shop there, so I'd expect that's probably why. And I've got a card that's already set up in euros, so there was no silly charges to change money. Quite a lot of ATMs, particularly around Europe, start wanting to add fees on top, and then your bank adds fees if you're doing it back into your own currency. So always best to get something into euros in the first place, and then check the ATM before you draw some cash out in case there's a local charge that you are going to be charged. But no, that was fine. That was a Swede bank, I think it was. And didn't charge me a fee, and neither will my own bank, so all good. Especially if you're drawing out small amounts, because you don't really need much cash, actual cash here. Maybe if you go to a market or something you will, but really everything's on tap and go. Really is a beautiful morning. I'm just going to drop off my shopping, and that'll be that from this video for today, or until later at least. I'll start another one with regards to my random bus trip. And the place I've chosen, as far as I could see when I looked on Google Maps, there was some old fort. So I'm interested to see what that actually is once I get there. So yeah, click subscribe and have a look at the channel. Maybe look at that video. There was also a random tram journey I did yesterday, and there'll be a random trolley bus journey that I'll do tomorrow. Bye for now. The one market stall is back again today. Seems to sell things like woolly hats and gloves and bags and that sort of stuff. Certainly need a woolly hat today. I have to say, although there's still a bit of litter blowing about, there's quite a team of cleaners about this morning tidying up. I guess they'll get to hear later on, but yeah, they do keep the city centre nice and tidy, and it really does look splendid this morning in this sunshine. Well, it's now the afternoon. Last time I was filming was the morning, and it was clear blue skies and sunshine, and now we've got grey skies and it's snowing. Not snowing all that much, but that is definitely snow. So let's go for a nice little snowy wander around the centre of Old Riga, see what's going on. outdoor bar. Not really much use for it this time of year. Hello. And it's about 5:15 in the evening at the moment, or late afternoon. There's the rush hour traffic. If I haven't already mentioned, which I'm sure I have, there are going to be 3 videos uploaded of random public transport journeys made here in Riga. One on bus line number 3, one on tram line number 11, and one on trolleybus line number 15. They'll be going up after this has gone up. So please make sure you have a little look at those. If you've seen this and you're enjoying it so far, click on like please, press subscribe and that bell thing, and then YouTube will let you know when the other videos are available. It's quite quiet at the moment. We're a couple of weeks before Easter, and it's also a Monday afternoon. Saturday night was fairly lively here in the city, but nothing like how it would be in the middle of summer. Most of the bars, as you can see here, have got outdoor sitting areas, but this time of year it's way too cold. Even for the hardiest of Latvians, it would be too cold sitting out here, so a lot of the noise is confined to the inside. Like that bakery. I keep meaning to call in there and get myself a pastry or two, something sweet. Not sure what time it's open until. It shows it opens at 9, it doesn't show what time it closes, presumably when the bread runs out. That's what good bakers do anyway. Just in a general wander around towards the outer edges of the old town. Something about Central European cities in the snow, or when it's snowing, it does give them that little bit of atmosphere. Just fell down a hole then. Cathedral. I think what makes Riga special, or particularly nice place to, old Riga that is the old cobble streets, the old buildings, and it's, well, as you can see, there are cars here, but it's not a thoroughfare. There's not cars roaring about everywhere, and there's no public transport, no buses, trams and trolleybuses. You need to just walk to the edge of old Riga, where there's lots of places to pick up the public transport. As you will see from my other 3 videos. Heading back to Luton tomorrow, so So I'll add to this video then with some more information about travelling to and from the airport, and a little bit more actually at the airport here in Riga. It's not a bad airport actually, as I said earlier on at the beginning, a few days ago now when I started filming at the start. It's the hub for Baltic Air Baltic, and as such there is a potential at least to, if you're heading to further east in Europe, to book flights with them, which may involve lengthy stopovers at Riga Airport. And that wouldn't be a bad thing in itself. It's not a bad place to spend an hour or two. You'll probably find a Ryanair flight that will go straight there without stopping. We're always there. But you never know. They are a decent option. It's a nice rock sculpture. Strange really, I was out and about earlier on today in sunshine and clear skies, and it felt colder then. Don't get me wrong, it's not warm now by any stretch of the imagination. Back round to the, I wasn't sure what it's called, I was calling it the Hog Bar. Up this way. There's always music playing in there quite often at night time. There's a lot of entertainment going on in there as well. And the one lady with her market stall is here as per usual. All day, every day. I'm surprised there aren't a few more stalls here. I never see this one. Little Ukraine, I do apologise. Latvian flag there, if you need a flag. Karaoke clubs, and it's got Wi-Fi, so you can film your mates absolutely destroying a song and then upload it to Facebook immediately. Yeah, street buskers are hardy here, out in all weathers. The usual range of eating establishments here. There's an Italian one just here. One or two places that specialise in Latvian cuisine, and most other cuisines that you can think of can be found here, plus fast food. I love this little street in particular. There's never too many vehicles or anything down here. A couple of bars that spill out into the street in summertime. There's a kind of calmness about it. And hooker. A nice old door, look at that. That's a smooth soon. Yeah. He said quietly. Again, apologies to Latvian speakers that may be listening to this. My pronunciation is dreadful. I do believe the sun might come out again soon, looking up there. Traditional Latvian food. Like most traditional food from this part of Europe, Central and Eastern Europe, it's quite it's hearty. Let's put it like that. It's you know you've eaten something. Dumplings. Great big shoulders of pork and lots of potatoes, that kind of thing. It's good solid food, very tasty. And worthwhile, at least if you come here, to go and eat in a traditional Latvian restaurant at least once while you're here, at least once. Give the fast food chains a miss. Stood right next to that. Let's take a walk over here and finish down here somewhere. That'll be enough for today. Tomorrow, further along on this video, but it will be done tomorrow. tomorrow I shall go to the central market. So we've got a very impressive central market here, and certainly a must visit place, especially if you like markets, but even if you're not a big markets fan, it's still worthy of a visit. It's contained in some what you can describe as Zeppelin hangars. So build that into your itinerary when you're here. I'll go down there tomorrow and have a little look around. I always enjoy a little wander around in there, pick up something to eat. I'll do that tomorrow morning before I head back to the airport. I just wish they rang their bell a little bit more often. So it's a very brown colour. I don't think it's dirty or polluted. It's just tannins or something they've got into the water. A nice vantage point from up here. Like up here. Let's go back down this way. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I do love the city with trams and trolley buses. It's hard to think. I mean, in just a few months it will be really rather warm here. The summer's fairly short, but it does get quite hot in summer. Lovelock Bridge. Not quite as many as in Cologne, across the railway bridge across the River Rhine, but there's a fair few there. That's what I call a padlock. I think there's a little stall next to the railway bridge in Cologne that actually sells padlocks, and you can get them engraved and so on. Got to do it yourself here. Earlier on today, there was some soldiers on sentry duty. I've gone now. I'm practicing their marching just here. Caught them on my trolley bus video just at the very end. Seem to be there once a day for an hour or two, as far as I can tell. Oh, we're just getting up towards the Opera House now. National Opera, very impressive. Fountain not working at the moment. Selfie central just here usually. So that's a gentle walk around, mostly around the outer edges of Old Riga. Go around this way, I think. George Armistead, the Mayor of Riga, 1847 to 1912. Doesn't sound much like a Latvian name, does it? George Armistead. That's a chunky one. Ballet dancer. If you do come to Riga, then make sure you leave Riga. What I mean by that is take a trip out to one of the beauty spots outside of the city. You can go to the beaches at Jūrmala, Sigulda, quite a few other places, and fairly easy to get to usually by train. The Riga bus, trams and trolley buses really stick to the city. If you want to get to Jūrmala, it'd probably be better to go by train. There are buses there, but they won't be included in your ticket that I mentioned earlier on. The passes that you can get, they're just for the Riga area. There's a fairly good train service from the central station. Trains are interesting. They are slowly modernising them and getting some newer ones, but they are of an era long gone, and it feels like you've gone back in time when you travel on them, so that's quite interesting. they're not particularly expensive either. You do just suddenly see these throwbacks to the Soviet era as you're wandering around. On the outskirts of town, if you, like most cities, there's one or two shopping malls that you can get to, but they're probably no different to the shopping malls that you find in your own town or near to where you live. There's pretty much an international list of well-known brands in them at European prices, so unless there's something specific you need, you won't find anything particularly unusual about them or exceptional about them. Just pretty much the same as. I'll be a bit careful here because trams come from all angles. And there is a reasonably large shopping mall here in the centre of Riga as well, just ahead of us there. Well, as I say, really probably somewhere you'd only really need to go to for something specific that you need to get hold of. In the old town here, it's just more specialist shops, eating and drinking establishments and such like. Plenty of chemists though if you need any medicine. Plenty of these Bolt scooters around as well if you want to do that. Can't imagine there'll be too much fun going across cobblestones in old Riga anyway on them, but if that's your thing, go for it. Another little shopping arcade there. It's got a rimy supermarket in there, fairly decent one, sort of medium sized, just general provisions that you may need. If you want to go to a proper great big supermarket, then you need to head out of town properly. But if you're only here for a few days and you're not too worried about bulk buying and that sort of thing, then you're probably better off just going to one of the local shops, really. Don't waste your time heading out of town unnecessarily. Okay, that concludes my little walk around Old Riga in the snow this evening. I'm going to go and get a hot chocolate now and take it easy for the evening. Tomorrow we'll go down to the central market and have a little look around there, plus along the waterfront as well, before I head back to the airport and sunny England, which is not exactly scorching hot at the moment, but it's good 5 to 10 degrees Celsius warmer than here. Right, it's now first thing in the morning in Old Riga. It's still a chilly old day, but not as cold as last night. The wind seems to have dropped a bit, and it's also stopped snowing. As you can see, nothing really stuck on the ground. A bit of snow on the roofs, but yeah, it was just something and nothing last night blowing around. Anyway, this morning, I'm going to head off to the central market and have a look around the area around there and on the waterfront. And then that'll be me done, actually. I'll be heading back to the equally chilly UK. Well, not quite so equally chilly, but it's not that warm either. It's quite quiet already this morning. It's a Tuesday morning, and it's about 8:30. Let's switch off for a bit, I think, otherwise all we get's the very noisy dustbin cart clonking away as they load up. I absolutely love streets with cobblestones, but they ain't half noisy when the refuse collectors pull the wheelie bins across them. It's super loud, but I guess it's something we can survive with. So that's an outdoor space that's either collapsed or is getting ready to be built for the summer. There's another one here. It's not they've just collapsed, to be fair. Getting ready to set them up for outdoor eating and drinking when the warmer weather comes. I.e. like that one there next to the Hard Rock Cafe. Ooh, I've gone around this corner and it is quite a chilly breeze once you get around here. For a capital city, it is really quite a sleepy place first thing in the morning. I know the main centre of industry, if you like, is outside the Old Riga, but all the same, it's still pretty quiet here. Go past big bad bagels again. They're big and they're bad. Most of the shops open about 9 o'clock anyway, so there won't be too many people strolling about here for those. So if you're after something a bit different from the usual American stuff, of course there is Burger King there and McDonald's. Hesburger. If you're from the sort of, I think they've originated in Finland, if memory serves me right, and have spread into 1 or 2 other countries, including the Baltic states and 1 or 2 other places. To my knowledge, there are none in London or the UK. I think I've seen some in Germany as well, but yeah, just if you fancy a quick takeaway type meal, might be worth popping in that one just for something a bit different. Tell me what you think. What's Hesburger like? Are they just the same as all the others, or a bit better? Different? I don't know. What's different about them if they're different? So, just sort of heading out of Old Riga as such. You know when you're out of Old Riga, because you come to the trams and trolley buses and all the transport that operates on the big circle around the outside of the city. I'm in a bit of a dilemma today. Our flight back goes at round about 7 o'clock this evening, and I've got to be out of the accommodation at noon, so not sure whether to go up to the airport and relax there or go into the shopping mall here for a while and take root in a coffee shop for a few hours. Yeah, think about that. That's it's quite a reasonable sort of place. Gotta love these old trams. Number 2 tram. Yeah, I do love a city with a tram. The trolley buses are great because they're not so noisy and clunky when you're on them, but they're still electric, so have a nice little smooth ride. There's the central station just over there. Okay. There's a lot of work going on to do with Rail Baltica at the moment, so some roads are sealed off to walk through to the other side of the railway lines, but I'll be going through this underpass. You'll see the central market over there. I think they're described as Zeppelin buildings. That's one of the machines that you can buy the tickets for the buses and trams and trolley buses. There's not that many of them around, which are close to the central station here and the underpass and major hub for all the transport. There's one at the airport bus stop, but as I said previously, the best place really is to pop in an Arvidsson and buy yourself. You can also buy yourself a book of tickets. 10. I can't remember the price now. You can buy a book of 10 single tickets if you like, the 90-minute tickets for €13, something along those lines. Just buying one is €1.50. And €2 from the airport, as previously mentioned, plus the various passes. So, dependent on what you're planning to do, we'll help you with what you actually decide to do. But those machines they're not everywhere. So going into a shop is usually your best option. There's the central market. All this work's to do, all part and parcel of the work that's going on to the Rail Baltica, which is going to have a railway line running all the way from Tallinn in Estonia through to Warsaw in Poland, through Riga, through Lithuania and Latvia. How long that's going to all take, who knows. There's an Arvidsson shop there, see, there's loads of those around, a little stall over there. There will be a state-of-the-art purpose-built railway station for Rail Baltica over there somewhere at some point. So it's slightly chaotic in this part of the city just now, but anyway, reason for this morning's little wander is to come to the Central Market, which is where we're at now. Contains an awful lot of stuff, just usual market stall stuff, fruit, veg, meat, non-food items, clothing and so on and so forth. And there are quite a lot of stalls that sell food from the go, finger food if you like, which is always great because you can come down here and snack away the morning or afternoon and try some selection of local delicacies. One thing that's always been a problem over the last few years in coming to places where you might want to pick up something that's got liquid in it, such as that there, honey, I think, is that unless you can get it in your suitcase, putting it in your hand luggage is a no-no for taking it through security. Same with bottles of local alcohol and so on. Now, packing stuff like that in your suitcase, checked luggage, slightly problematic anyway, in as much as they get bashed about a bit in the baggage handling system. And obviously, if a bottle of booze breaks inside your suitcase, that's not a good thing. But small bottles of things, jars of preserves and items like that can fairly safely be packed amongst some clothes and wrapped up carefully. But it's been a problem over the last few years with not being able to take more than 100 millilitres in your hand luggage. So you've been restricted to buying a lot of this stuff once you've gone through security at an airport. Needless to say, it's always much more expensive. However, I hear that the rules and regulations on that are beginning to be relaxed soon. So I heard Stansted Airport's going to stop that, but how long it will take for all the airports to change their rules on this is anyone's guess. Anyway, here we are in one of the main hangars. So it's open from, what was that, 7:30 till 1600? Do you know what, I wasn't paying attention back there. 7:30 till a bit later on this afternoon. There's a lot of these stalls are not open here today. This is a Tuesday morning. I guess the individual retailers can open as and when they like. This appears to be more the non-food section, handbags and so on. I think when I go into the food section, there's more stalls will be open. Oh yeah. Interesting sort of souvenir stall you could come to here. One of my first ports of call once I go into the next hangar along, which I think's where the food begins, will be to grab a coffee, I think. Now these little houses here, they remind me of the little houses they give you on the airline KLM when you travel in business class, full of gin. Very similar, although these, I don't know if these are porcelain or plastic or what they are. I hope they're not just plastic because they're quite expensive. Might be made of wood, some of them. It's hard. Yeah. Bit of a mixture in this hangar, this one, of not local crafts and souvenirs and so on, and just kind of clothes. I'm terrible with prices of things, whether things are a bargain or a rip-off. I'm never quite sure how much things should cost anyway if you went to just the supermarket outside and bought exactly the same thing. What I personally look for when if I come to a place like this is something that's different, something that you generally speaking can't get at your local supermarket. Ganoderma and mushroom. This is when you need smell-o-vision, because the smell coming from that shop, the sort of herbs and so on that are in there, is really quite nice. Excuse me, we're into the second hangar, the middle. There's three, isn't there? Middle hangar. Keep calling them hangars, I'm not even sure if they were hangars. They certainly look like they used to be. They're generally referred to as the Zeppelin hangars. Oh, fudge. I like some fudge. Different cheeses. I saw a stall yesterday selling this kind of sweet treats, if you like. It does help if you know what it is that a lot of the things are and what you would do with them. Right, so halva. It's Middle Eastern, isn't it? And various mixes of different nuts and fruits in there. Looks really, really nice. I'm going to call back here later on and grab some of that. I'm not so keen on the ones. I mean, there's one there with Nutella on it. Not that keen on things like Nutella, but there's one there with pistachio nuts. Various fruits. Look great, look really good. And we're going to the olives, the seafood, squid and so on, and cheeses. Really nice. Beautiful. I think one or two of the stalls offer you little samples if you stand there looking hungry. There's just more general provisions as well, such as the eggs and fruit and vegetables and so on. But this is tends to be more deli in here, deli stuff if you like, specialist. And that is hemp butter. That's interesting. Do you know, I could spend all day in places like this and just try stuff out. Curd. I wonder what hemp butter's like. Anyone tell me what hemp butter is like? Nice smell of herbs and so on here. What I need to find is a stall that's selling... Lo and behold. Okay, time for a short break. Now this looks the place. Oh yes, right, back in a moment, my friends, back in a moment. Now that is one lovely cup of coffee. Wow, that had a lovely kick to it. Just what I needed. Maybe pop back here a little later. They are excellent. best time to come to a market. I'm sure I don't need to tell any of you that. First thing in the morning, when everything is really freshly brought in. Some of the places are cooking or making things throughout the day, but generally speaking, the best produce goes straight away, and the freshest stuff is here first thing in the morning. So yeah, especially if you're going to take it home and eat it straight away, now's the time. Breads look nice as well. Really nice breads here, actually. Typical Central European stuff as well, though. The stuff that's a little bit heavier than the light fluffy stuff that we generally get. But if you like that sort of stuff, the dark breads, then yeah, we do a good range of it here too. It's quite quiet in here this morning. Oh, I can feel that caffeine surging around my body now. I'm going to be trotting along in a moment. Some nice herbs and spices in there. And nuts, of course. Dried fruits. Yeah, so if you wanted to take one of these home with you at the moment on an aircraft, you'd be struggling. You could, I guess, attempt to pack jars like that in your hand luggage. It wouldn't be too difficult. The glass is fairly thick in jars and stuff like that, so, and some of them are plastic jars as well, which are less likely to smash. But yeah, it's an ongoing problem that hopefully we'll see the end of soon, and you'll be able to take some more delicate liquids over 100 millilitres in your hand luggage soon. I hope so anyway, because taking a little bottle of something back from a place you've been to visit is always great, even if it does just sit in your cocktail cabinet and never get consumed. Spanish stall. Olives, hams. This is the next hangar. Now seems to be some parts closed off down there. A vegetables pavilion. Well, that says what it should have in there. Seeds. Ladies' clothes, hats. The pavilions, as they appear to be calling them, at each end are the least interesting, if you like, in as much as they are more run-of-the-mill items. The central one that we've just been in, just come out of where I had the coffee, is by far the most interesting, with lots of really nice produce on display. Yeah, there seems to be a bit of renovation work going on here. So we go through a tunnel. Certainly smell vegetables. 50 cents for the toilet. Yeah, I know this baffles a lot of people, including me, but if you come to Europe, there's not many places you'll come to on a public loo basis where you won't have to pay 50 cents, a euro. I remember, at least 20 years ago, up the Eiffel Tower, after you've already paid to go up there, it costing equivalent of a euro then, so I dread to think how much it costs to go there now. It's not just vegetables in here either, is it? It's fish as well. And believe you me, that is a very strong smell of fresh fish. Smoked. Really strong smoky smell. Squid. I just had to just resort to the translator there. That's trout caviar. Looks very interesting. Atlantic salmon. And squid, calamari. Beautiful smell. I love the smell of fresh fish. It's a little cooler in this this hall, for obvious reasons. There's a lot of ice about. It's still fairly quiet though. There's a lot of these stalls are not open today. I expect towards the end of the week and at the weekend these are a lot busier, especially as people come in to get a treat for the weekend. If only I could place the smell on the video as well. Another view of all the works going on. No. I just said no then, he just asked me if I speak English. Oh my word. So Monday, Tuesday, it's open 7 days a week, 7:30 every morning till 6 o'clock every day, apart from, I'm presuming the 7th day will be Sunday, and just shut slightly early at 5 o'clock. And I'm thinking that perhaps it is somewhat busier here. At the weekends. I can't understand why I just said no to that guy. Do you speak English? No. Quite often you get asked if you speak Russian, which is a definite no for me. This is I would say this is probably vodka in those bottles, and shot 40 millilitres, 43%. Is that quite weak or strong for vodka? I thought it was 43% anyway, €1.60. Now they're quite big shot glasses. I'll say in British terms there'll be at least a double in there, at least a double. 43% alcohol volume. I think spirits are normally 40%, aren't they? Generally speaking. 3 times 2 litres. 3 times 6 litres of 43% alcohol, €180. So €60 a litre. That's about £50 a litre. I guess this is top end. Door to door, so you can have this sent back home. Door to door. Has it got the UK on there? No, we can send it all over Europe, but not to the UK by the looks of it. But yeah, the sign's in English. The form that you complete's in English, which is interesting. Let me know. €180 for 6 litres of 43%. Oh no, it's high quality, 43% white honey brandy produced from pure honey in the greenest neighbourhood in Riga, Mesoparks. After fermentation and double distillation in copper pots, it is filtrated through Latvian forest moss and activated carbon. High quality white honey brandy is a perfect gift for a special occasion, weddings, and as a valuable souvenir from Latvia. There you go. So €180 for 6 litres probably is an absolute bargain then in that case. I'll just put those signs up there so you've got it in Latvian and Russian as well. I should have looked up there in the first place. Samagon.lv is their website. And you can sample it for €1.60. So you'd come in here, try it for €1.60, think that is the absolute bee's knees, or the white honey, and walk away with €180 worth. Interesting that it can be sent to everywhere in Europe, though. It doesn't seem to mention the UK, interestingly. Perhaps the import regulations in the UK are not conducive to such things. Fantastic. Tad early in the morning for white honey brandy. There's a guy there just about to have some, I think. Hey. All in the name of Mesoparks, of course. If you've seen my video on the tram video, I had a little wander around Mesoparks. Absolute, not to be misplaced. It's not on this video, as it appears on that one. So I'm not entirely sure where well, this is the vegetables hall, but it's mostly not vegetables, funnily enough. Okay, let's take a little stroll back through. Samosas. I might pop back here later and grab one of those because they sound interesting. Cheese, spinach, pumpkin. That's interesting. Pumpkin, turkey, beef, and lamb. Wow. I think that might be a little snack for later. That sounds absolutely fascinating. Do they take credit card? Yes, they do. That's good. I like the look of those. I absolutely love the look of those. Latvian samosas. Okay, boys and girls, I think you've had the general idea of the Central Market. Well worthy of a visit and spending a couple of hours, and a great place to pick up some little knickknacks and gifts, specialities, snacks to eat on the hoof, you name it, it's in here. Upstairs seems to be closed. Right, I'm going to carry on having a little wander around without holding this camera and getting strange looks, and then I'll come back to you when I go outside. I can't think that the waterfront walk's going to be that great with all the work that's going on here at the moment, so I'll come back to you from there. We'll have a little see what's going on down there shortly. Oh, there's some newspapers in there. Newspapers still exist. Wow. Long gone are those days of getting a 3-day-old newspaper when you were abroad from your home country, paying 10 times the price for news that someone had already told you about. Grill hub. Right, that's it. I'm going to grab some snacks before I leave here, and that'll form lunch, and I'll see you out on the waterfront in a little while. It's not really opened up yet. Actually, I'll just mention this before I set off. This is kind of a food hall area where various stalls are not really set up to go yet, but presumably they'll be open later. There's different food offerings that you can sit down here and eat and drink, of course, as well. There's a bar over there. The guy's got a beer, so something must be open. But there's a bar there, yeah. So I guess this is a place that starts to get busier later on. What we got here? Chicken soup. Oh, I'll tell you what. Borscht as well. Pigberg. What's that? Beer food. Pizza, beer food. Food that you eat with beer. Is that what they're saying here? Anyway, so I just thought I'd just quickly add that on. Yeah, I forgot about the food hall. That's obviously, it's not really up and running as yet. It's only 9:30 in the morning. I expect this to be packed out later on. And some dumplings as well. Might have to have a little look there. Central European dumplings from places like Poland, Lithuania, Latvia and so on are superb. I think the Lithuanians call theirs zeppelins. These are look a bit more like the Polish pierogi. Definitely might have to look at there later as well. Going to be like a waddling mass of full up person by the end of this. There we go. Septide. Lovely. That's they're in, hidden away there in English, with chicken, with vegetables, beef and lamb, mushrooms, pork and beef, fried or boiled dumplings. Excellent. Love it, especially on a cold day like today. Right, that really is it from in here now. My stomach's starting to rumble a little bit, so I better get out of here. I'll come back later for something to eat. I'll carry on down by the waterfront, see what's happening down there. Right, so say goodbye to the sort of docks area, if you like, and Central Market, and hello to the river, Daugava. Can be slightly sketchy down here at times, but this is first thing on a Tuesday morning, so nothing much happening. Clearly used as a makeshift toilet. And here's the river. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I always think so much more could be made of this down here. And perhaps in summertime there is, but it's not a bad place to come for a walk along the water, albeit a bit of a concrete sort of yeah, not particularly pretty looking area. There's one of the slightly newer trains going over. National Library and the LTV mast. Not really very many people down here, to be fair, and I think it probably does need a bit of work doing on it, and I'm sure on a warm summer's day a lot of these seats will be taken up. It's not really conducive to sitting around down here. That is a massive Ukraine flag up there. Well done. Looks like a derelict building, mind you. Okay, that's the riverfront, and really that concludes my video on Riga. This may well turn out to be the very end of the video, but if I do find something of interest between now and arriving back at Luton Airport en route, then I shall tag it on the end of this. But if not, please if you can, press like, maybe press subscribe, because I'll have some more of these videos coming up fairly soon, and have a look out for my videos of random public transport journeys here in the Riga area. I did 3, one on a tram, one on a bus, and one on a trolley bus. Completely different, so maybe watch one of those. Just in case I don't come back, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all again. Bye for now.